Hi everyone, today I have some new plants to share with you, and we're starting off with the Dischidia platyphylla. And I don't think I've ever seen this one before. I don't remember having seen it. It kind of has curled up kind of taco shaped leaves. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen this one, but I definitely don't remember having seen it when I've been shopping. Maybe I didn't notice it, but I thought it was quite cool. It also has these little white flowers. It only has a few of them at the moment, but I think there's another one there. They're kind of cute, I think. But yeah, I'm definitely into my hanging plants, so this is one that I thought was really pretty. I like the way the leaves kind of curl up. When they're uncurled, they're kind of a sort of a heart shape, I suppose, and then they seem to curl up more as the plant vines. And yeah, I think it's just a really elegant hanging plant. And I'm just pest checking because that's something I do with new plants, just to make sure there's nothing hiding in there. It's quite a difficult plant to pest check, I suppose, because it has a lot of nook and crannies in there which you can't really get to. But yeah, I think this is a really cool plant. I don't know if any of you guys have this one. Do let me know if you do. I'd love to know what your experience with it is.
Dischidia platyphylla is actually a species of plant native to the Philippines, and even though people tend to grow this one as a hanging plant, as I have it here, it is actually a plant that in the wild will shingle and grow up trees. This plant does like a nice sunny spot, and it enjoys some humidity as well. It also likes to dry out between waterings too, and my research has showed that it seems to like little and often watering, but to make sure to let it dry out between waterings. So that's what I should be doing, but I'll keep you posted on my personal experience of this plant.
Next is another plant that I've actually never heard of. This is the leopard lily. And I don't remember having ever seen this one, but it kind of has a leopardy print variegation on it. Presumably that's where it gets its name. But yeah, it's quite a cool plant. I believe it is a flowering plant, but my research suggests that it flowers from, I think it was winter to beginning of spring, so I may not see it flower, but yeah, I think it's quite a cool plant. It has a kind of a weird growth pattern. It's got kind of like bulbs, and then these leaves grow out of the bulbs. But I thought that was quite a unique plant. So far my research suggests that it likes a lot of highlight, so I am going to make sure that I place this one somewhere where it can get lots and lots of really good light. But yeah, I'm looking forward to growing this one. My husband actually chose this one, and he usually chooses difficult plants, so hopefully this won't be too difficult, but I do really like it and I'm looking forward to seeing if I can grow it. It does seem quite delicate. The plant's leaves seem quite kind of delicate, so I'm trying to be very careful with it, but let's see what happens. I don't know if any of you guys have this. If you do, feel free to leave me some tips, as I would, of course, love to hear them. But yeah, kind of looking forward to seeing what this one does. It does seem very prone to breaking. There were a few broken leaves in the shop, and it's broken a few more, so it is extremely delicate. I'm being as careful as I can with it, but it does seem, yes, like a very delicate plant.
This plant is also known as Leopard socialis, or the silver squill, and it's a bulbous perennial plant, and it's native to South Africa, so it does like a lot of sun. It's quite a small plant. It only grows to about 6 to 10 inches tall, and it does require a winter rest period where it has reduced watering. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to growing this one and seeing how it does.
And then I could not resist buying this huge syngonium. It's a huge pink syngonium. And if any of you guys have been on the channel for a while, you will know that I absolutely love pink syngoniums, and this one was only $19.99 and it's huge, so I couldn't help but get it. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Am I going to give it a pole to climb or leave it trailing as it is at the moment? It's in a hanging basket right now. But yeah, I just couldn't resist. Even though I have one, mine is much smaller than this, of course, but I just thought that was a really good deal for a massive hanging basket, so I just couldn't resist. I think it's really beautiful. So hopefully it will be okay. Let's see, I don't see any roots coming out yet, so hopefully this one won't need a repot just yet, so we'll just see how it does. But yeah, I just love this one. It's one of my favourite plants. They did have some other syngoniums in too, some kind of ones I'd never heard of, but I decided to get this one because it's huge, and also the others, they didn't look too great. I saw a few thrips about the place, so yeah, I've got this one instead, and I have thrip sprayed this one just in case, with there being thrips in the garden centre, the likelihood is there might be one or two on these plants, so I have sprayed them all for thrips just in case, because the last thing I want really is a thrip outbreak. But it's almost inevitable really now with summer coming in that we will get one at some point. It's just one of those things with plants that you have to accept.
I'm not entirely sure which type of pink syngonium this is, but I'm assuming it's probably something like the neon robusta. That tends to be the most common one. And unfortunately, I did actually find a few thrips on this one, but you know, I'm not really fazed by that these days. I just gave it a good spray. And yeah, I just love syngoniums. They are really easy to care for. I do have quite a lot of experience already with syngoniums, and they do like to stay a little bit moist, but definitely not wet. And in fact, I usually let mine dry out almost all of the way. I just wait until there's just a little bit of moisture left right at the bottom of the pot, and my syngonium seems to do just fine like that. I do also fertilise syngoniums probably about once a month, depending on what I'm using, but they are really easy to grow.
And then I also bought this huge Epipremnum, and it's got Scindapsus on the label, but I think it's an Epipremnum. But it does have quite a long vine, and I'm going to be giving this one a pole extension. But I bought this one specifically because there's an area in my home where it gets pretty low light, and I wanted something hardy that could actually live there. So I decided to go for a good old dependable Epipremnum, knowing that this will be fine in the spot that I want it. That's one of the things when you're buying plants, well, at least for me, what I've learned is that you shouldn't necessarily, or I shouldn't necessarily buy plants that are just rare or good to look at. You also have to think about where you're going to put it. So I've started trying to think of that, and knowing that I had a specific place in mind for this one, I knew that this one would be okay there, and I knew that many other plants would not be okay there. So yeah, I did buy this one specifically for the environment that I want it to go in, knowing that it will be just fine there. And yeah, it's got this long vine which is a little bit tatty, so I may give it a trim, but I will be giving it a pole extension, and yeah, hopefully it will just provide a little bit of nice foliage in an area of my home where I don't have loads and loads of light. But it has some quite big leaves here. It's probably going to get much smaller leaves because I'm going to be keeping it in a low light area, and that's fine. As I say, I bought this one specifically with that in mind, so that's fine with me. I don't mind.
This plant is also known as the devil's ivy or the golden pothos. It's very drought tolerant, and you should let it dry out in between waterings. Feed it every month with a good houseplant feed, and just repot when it outgrows its pot, which is usually within maybe a year or two. Just check it now and again, but it's really easy to care for, and I chose this one specifically, as I said, because it's just so hardy and it can cope with most conditions.
So those are all the plants I have to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.